My name is Vittoon Panyakul, and I work with GreenNet in Thailand. GreenNet is a kind of umbrella organization. We composed of two organizations, the GreenNet Cooperative and the EarthNet Foundation. We basically work on two areas, organic farming and fair trade. So the foundation basically helps support our farmers to convert to organic farmings, and then the GreenNet Co-op take over buying the produce from our farmers who become our shareholders and trade it. We more or less sell out, export about 60% and sell in Thailand about 40%. Through the foundation, we also provide consultancy support for different organizations, including UN agencies. So we work all throughout Southeast Asia, and sometimes we also have some projects in South Asia as well. In Thailand, we work with about 1,000 families. 700 of them would be rice farmers, and the rest would be coconut, cashew nut, cottons, and vegetables. We first, of course, make the what we call supply chain studies, try to how we can link, and then we start working with the farmers individually, helping them to convert, and then we then organize then a group so that they can sell through the groups. Our co-op, of course, may be buying direct, but we get the groups to collect the produce from the members, and so the group can then earn some income. And this is one way to actually also to strengthen local farmer organizations. For instance, we provide organic fertilizers, which we only sell to our members through the groups. So the group collectively purchase and then distribute with small margin to their members. So the group then earn some money, and when we produce we purchase the produce from them, we often buy it through the groups. So the group, we pay advance to the groups, and then the group collect the produce from the members and then truck it to us. First, we start with training our farmers to produce their own on-farm or organic fertilizer, or purchase it or collect it from the local areas. But when the group start to expand, there's not enough quality organic fertilizer around in their regions. So we have to contact, we decided to contact some of the factories who produce organic fertilizers, and we source from biogas materials, and then we pack it, ask them to pack it and then sell it to our member. So we have one of the quite a pioneer project in terms of commercial but local seed. It's actually started by our foundation, where we have one of our staff she produced organic vegetable seed, first collected from different parts of Thailand, but later on expanded a little bit to all over Asia, and then sell commercially, because there's a growing demand for urban consumers to grow organic gardens. So we've been selling seed for about 5 years now, and we were one of the very first cooperative who registered with the government to sell the seed, because seed is a regulated market. You cannot just produce and sell. You have to get permission from the Department of Agriculture to sell it. Well, I mean, it's keep on changing. We started 30 years ago, and that time was, of course, the knowledge. But nowadays, I'm confidently can say it's a climate change. The climate pattern has changed quite significantly. Rain come a little later, and then pour in a shorter time period between heavy rain and then pause, which means it create then fresh flooding, so I mean, we have started a program called climate change adaptation, try to identify the risk of different farmers. And for the rice, for instance, then after the study, then we invented a program to reduce rice production area to diversify to different crop. And because in the terrain where you grow rice, there's what we call slightly upper land and slightly lower land. Of course, when you have more drying period now, the upper land part, the higher part, do not produce much. So we provide grant and loan and technical support for them to convert to few crops. But we give them the choice. So if you are aged farmer, you don't have much labor to work, then we encourage them to grow perennial trees where they can sell there, because it's only work. You need to work for the first couple of years when it starts to grow. And if you have a bit more labor, a younger family, then we encourage them to grow like cashew nuts and other crops. Or if they have a bigger land and also enough labor, they can also grow green manure crop like mung beans, sesame, and so on, which we can, of course, buy and sell it in the country. Soil organic carbon is very important, and I believe organic farming have a potential solution for climate change in terms of mitigation, because by putting organic matters back to the soil, we can fix the carbon into the soil. Some people may say it may be temporary, but if you do large enough and you do continuously, I mean, you can fix large amount of carbon in the soil. There are already quite a number of big private companies who make their commitment to reduce their carbon emission as well as to become carbon neutralities. They have been looking at two areas, the reforestation and farming. We have been approached by a couple of companies to make a pilot project where the company will be paying subsidies for farmers who make soil carbon sequestrations. And we have completed the first study last year, and this year we probably will launch the program with a couple of companies in the second part of this year. Farmer has been doing this for a while, but the recognition that farmer actually serve the world has just been there recently. I think, of course, it's a bit difficult to evaluate or make a financial calculation of how much they've been protecting our world. But I think it's good. It's good timing actually to start seriously looking at this thing. It's not just the carbon, but it's sequestration that the farmer have been helping us, but also conserving biodiversities, conserving the rural livelihood, and so on. And these are not just for environmental aspect, but also it's a good contribution for economic and social development. The threat of the climate disaster has been very real in the recent years, and therefore there's an awakening among these private companies, and therefore the carbon issues, regenerative farming is one of the quick growing areas, and that's why we actually start working on this a little bit more. But I would believe that similar approach can be done. The only issue is, I mean, there are formal way of making a calculation, but that the methodology is too complicated and too costly. We have done some basic studies comparing the cost of calculating and verifying the carbon sequestration in the official way. It actually exceeds the benefit the farmer will gain, and therefore that system is not so interesting for small-scale farmer. Our approach is develop a lighter scheme. In organic certification, we call PGS, Participative Guarantee System. So it's not the best, but probably the second best option, where you can get the small farmers that only work in the local area with the companies working at the national level who may be interested in this scheme. We have one of the very interesting association of adventurous tourism agencies. Just one of those guys, he's very keen on this thing and has been doing this program, but with the reforestation with some farmer in the north. When he hear about our project, he say, "Oh, that's very interesting," and he approached us, and actually we have just entered into a memorandum of understanding to work jointly. And so the one of the first company would be a tour agent in Thailand, which are member of this association, which means that then he can then explain to the tourist client that come join his program that the carbon emitted from this tour program has been contributed by the organic farmers who probably they will probably buy the rice and cook it for the tourists as well. We are the generation in the human history that we completely change our landscape. Our generation has changed the forest into barren, into cassava and sugarcane, and completely destroy our soil and the world. It is also now, if we accept to become organic farmer, it's a time where we have to restore that before we pass this heritage to our children and grandchildren.